What if the person you're still holding on to is the exact reason you can't move forward? You still think about them. You replay the memories. You wonder, what if? But here's the hard truth. Some chapters are not meant to be reopened, and psychologists agree. Reconnecting with your ex may be costing you more than you realize. Your peace, your growth, your future. Today's episode is not just about heartbreak. It's about healing. It's about understanding why moving on isn't just emotional advice, it's psychological necessity. So if you've been tempted to reach out to your ex, to try just one more time, stop right here. This episode is for you. The end of a romantic relationship is often accompanied by a whirlwind of emotions: grief, nostalgia, regret, and sometimes even relief. In the aftermath of a breakup, many people struggle with the temptation to reconnect with an ex-partner, whether out of loneliness, unresolved feelings, or the hope of rekindling what was lost. However, psychologists and relationship experts consistently warn against reopening old emotional wounds by reconnecting with a former partner. This article explores the psychological reasons why re-engaging with an ex is usually a detrimental choice. By examining attachment theory, social exchange theory, and the emotional and mental health benefits of moving on, we can better understand why leaving the past behind is crucial for personal growth and future happiness. Understanding attachment theory. Attachment theory tells us our earliest relationships shape how we connect and cling. If you formed anxious or avoidant bonds in childhood, you're more likely to hold on to toxic patterns, even when they hurt. That pull toward your ex, it's not love, it's an attachment wound trying to repeat itself. But healing means recognizing your past doesn't get to write your future. Attachment theory, developed by psychologist John Bowlby, explains how early relationships with caregivers shape our emotional bonds in adulthood. According to this theory, our attachment style, whether secure, anxious, avoidant, or disorganized, influences how we behave in romantic relationships. Secure attachment. Individuals with secure attachment tend to have healthy, stable relationships. Anxious attachment. Those with anxious attachment may fear abandonment and seek constant reassurance. Avoidant attachment. Avoidant individuals often distance themselves emotionally to maintain independence. Disorganized attachment. This style results from trauma and leads to inconsistent relationship behaviors. When a relationship ends, our attachment system is disrupted, leading to emotional distress. Reconnecting with an ex can reactivate old attachment patterns, making it difficult to break free from unhealthy dynamics. Even if a relationship was toxic or unfulfilling, the familiarity of an ex-partner can create a false sense of comfort. The brain associates past relationships with emotional highs and lows, leading to a biochemical addiction to the relationship's ups and downs. Reopening communication can trigger dopamine spikes from intermittent reinforcement, where affection was unpredictable. Oxytocin release, the bonding hormone that makes separation painful. Cortisol surges, stress hormones linked to relationship anxiety. This chemical cocktail makes it incredibly difficult to think rationally about whether reconnecting is truly beneficial. Psychologists at Tulane say relationships are a transaction: emotional, mental, spiritual. When the cost outweighs the benefit, it's time to walk away. If being with your ex cost you peace, growth, confidence, or clarity, ask yourself honestly, what are you still paying for? Being with the wrong person can make you forget your worth. But walking away? That's a declaration that says, I deserve more. Staying attached to an ex can erode self-worth, especially if the relationship was one-sided or emotionally draining. Cutting ties allows you to reclaim your identity outside the relationship. Recognize your value independent of someone else's validation, and build confidence by making independent decisions. When you stop depending on someone who no longer serves you, you reconnect with your own power. You learn to make decisions for you, without permission or apology. Relying on an ex for emotional support keeps you stuck in the past. Moving on fosters emotional autonomy, learning to self-soothe rather than seeking external comfort, decision-making skills, trusting your judgment without second-guessing, and financial and social independence, rebuilding a life on your terms. Leaving an unfulfilling relationship reduces anxiety, relieves emotional pressure, and creates space for joy to re-enter. Studies show that people who fully detach from ex-partners experience lower stress and anxiety. No more relationship uncertainty, higher life satisfaction, focus shifts to personal goals, and reduced depressive symptoms, less rumination over past conflicts. The end of a relationship is the beginning of self-discovery. You finally have space to ask, who am I outside of this pain? What do I truly want? A breakup creates space for introspection. Without an ex's influence, you can rediscover forgotten passions, hobbies, career aspirations, set new boundaries, learning what you will and won't tolerate in future relationships, and develop emotional resilience, handling challenges without relying on past crutches. You're not missing the person. You're missing the idealized version of them. You're remembering the highs and forgetting the heartbreak. But nostalgia is a liar. It filters out the tears and amplifies the butterflies. Every time you text your ex, every time you check in, you're reopening wounds that need time and space to scar over. Healing can't begin until contact ends. Your future partner can't reach you if your heart's still living in the past. You can't build a new foundation while standing in the rubble of the old one. We're not saying it's easy. You built a life with this person. Memories, milestones, habits. Letting go means grieving not just a person, but a version of yourself. But being alone isn't the same as being empty. Sometimes, solitude is where your soul finally begins to heal. Friends say, you two were perfect. Family says, just fix it. But they don't live inside your heart. Only you know what it's costing you to stay tethered to what's broken. Feel it, grieve it, then release it. Journaling, therapy, or talking to a trusted friend can help process emotions. View the breakup as a learning experience, not a failure. Not friends, not just checking in. Closure comes from clarity, not conversation. Unfollow on social media, delete old messages, and avoid checking in. Start that class. Go on that trip. Fall in love with your life again. Exercise, travel, or take up a new hobby to rebuild a sense of self. Community heals. Let your support system remind you of who you are and who you're becoming. Lean on friends, family, or support groups to avoid isolation. A guide helps you see the blind spots. You don't have to walk through this alone. Therapy can help break emotional dependency and establish healthy patterns. Reconnecting with an ex often feels tempting, but it rarely leads to lasting happiness. Psychology supports the idea that moving on, though painful, is essential for emotional well-being and future relationship success. By focusing on self-growth, establishing boundaries, and embracing new opportunities, you pave the way for a healthier, more fulfilling life. The past may hold memories, but the future holds possibilities, ones that don't include repeating old mistakes. Letting go isn't about forgetting, it's about choosing yourself, and that's always the right decision. Letting go doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're wise. It means you're ready to stop reliving a love story that already ended. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away, not because you stopped loving them, but because you finally started loving yourself. The past was a lesson, not your life sentence. So today, give yourself permission to let go, to close the door, and to walk boldly into a new chapter, full of healing, growth, and love that actually fits the person you're becoming. Your ex is your history. Your healing is your destiny. If this resonated with you, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs the courage to move forward.